Magnus says. So, I was tagged and sent this several times. And from what I understand, Ms. Johansson has a problem with the male gaze or something. She's having some regrets. Scarlett Johansson. Let's see here. Male gaze. Here, there's an interview going around. There it is. Variety. I was told a few years ago when I started covering a lot of comic book news, that comic book movie news and movie news, that every other place that I went to was that they weren't legit or valid. They would only believe it if it came from Variety. They're the only legitimate source of movie news. So, this is given to us from Variety. Scarlett Johansson says she was offered a lot of roles revolving around desirability and the male gaze as a young actress that is less frequent. That is less frequent now. Okay, well, yeah, every young starlet, whatever you want to call them, they're good looking, they're attractive, they sex sells. They do it to the men, they do it to the women. I ain't saying it's right, I ain't saying it's wrong, I'm just saying, it is what it is. Scarlett Johansson is opening up about how roles have changed for women since she joined Hollywood. In a recent interview with the Times of London, Johansson said that when she first entered the industry, the roles she was offered usually centered around desirability and the goals and needs of her male counterparts. However, she thinks the Hollywood of today is ushering in a different time for young women. Hope she doesn't mean the girl boss era. The messaging is different. There are many more role models. Women are visible in powerful positions, and the opportunities I have had to play. Okay, so it sounds like she's talking about the woke stuff. Like there's a chart that Elon Musk had shared. And one of the things that they go for, that they make sure is under the woke umbrella, is that you have to make sure that women or people of color are in powerful positions in the video games that you do, in the movies that you do, in the television series that you have to do. That's the reason why you see so many girl bosses, because they have to check that box to get the funding with the ESG and the DEI loans. Plus, if you want to get an Oscar, you have to follow those rules too. So these people are chasing Oscars. They're chasing lower interest loans with it. So that's why you've seen so much of it. After you read that chart, you will see all the box checking in all the movies. So if you want to stay in ignorance is bliss. If you want to, don't read the chart. Don't find the DEI ESG chart and read it, because you will see it. And then in all the newer movies, you're going to see, oh my, holy shit. That, okay, Did it go? That's 5. Oh my God, all the boxes were checked. The messaging is different. There are many more role models. Women are visible in powerful positions. And the opportunities I have had to play, women who don't have to just be one thing or another, have increased. Johansson said, but when I was younger, a lot of the roles I was offered or I went for had their ambitions or character arcs revolving around their own desirability or the male gaze or a male-centered story. This is less frequent, though. Something has shifted. Well, look, I am huge on accountability. Huge on accountability. She chose to take those roles. She chose to take those roles. Okay, she chose to take certain roles, and there it is. Look. I told you guys. I told my agent, don't send me any auditions unless it's for something that is not woke. I haven't heard from him like almost 2 years. Okay. That's fine for me because I don't want to be a part of displeasing the fans and the public. I want to make things that people like. Okay. People like my videos. That's why I continue to make them. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this. I remember there was like a kind of like a list of things that, he asked me like, okay, what are you willing to do? Like, shirt off. And I was like, well, yeah. He was like, okay, anything, pants off? No. I was like, yeah, like, board shorts or something like that. Not boy shorts. Board shorts, fine. I'm not showing my dang-a-lang. I'm not showing my booty or my booty hole. Okay? Shirt off, fine. I'm not doing love scenes. Will I kiss? Yeah, in certain circumstances. See, because you don't know what people got, man. And if you hear about the damn stats for people in Hollywood that have, how should I say this? The gift that keeps on giving. Okay. You got to watch out who you kiss. You get what I'm saying? Love scenes, no. You know what I mean? So there's a bunch of things that, I had to tell him the things that I was willing to do and not do. Okay. And all the things, wearing a dress, all that stuff, anything that could possibly be misconstrued with selling your soul or, whatever that would make a man feel like he lost his masculinity. That was a no. I'm not doing none of it. You get what I'm saying? So, you have a choice. That's it. You have a choice. And I realize that, when you're a good looking woman or man in Hollywood, there's certain roles that are just going to come to you. They're going to float to you because of how you look. You know what I mean? Even typecast stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when, you can be typecast to do something, so especially if you look a certain way, whether it's, you might have a peculiar look, like they had told Arsgard that he really couldn't be a leading man or something, but he proved them wrong. He has a particular look. He has an interesting look. And like in modeling, I used to talk to this high fashion model, and I've talked to a couple of them before, but one of the things that they told me about is something called ugly pretty. Those are the girls, they look weird. They have a strange look, but they're pretty. They don't have that traditional, they're not traditionally good looking, And one thing with Scarlett Johansson is she's traditionally good looking. She has a, next door, girl next door type of look to her. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at certain one, you can be typecast and just these roles are given to you. I remember Tyler Perry. I forgot what the movie was that he did, but he wanted to do action. He wanted to kind of break out of the typecasting of maybe his look. I thought he did fine with that movie. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but it didn't blow up or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I've seen different guys like John McClane. He doesn't look like a superhero, but he had that whole cool vibe about him that really worked. You know what I mean? He had an everyman thing about him. You know what I'm saying? So it worked. You know what I mean? People, they might be looking for Sly or for Arnold. They could have both did Die Hard, right? But Bruce Willis had that cool swag about him that just worked. Listen, he's basically the same character in The Last Boy Scout. The Last Boy Scout is in my top 50 of all time. I love that movie. Love it. I would have loved for him and Damon Wayans to do a second movie. And I saw something about it. It was explaining why they didn't. I cannot stand the fact that didn't get a sequel. I kind of became objectified and pigeonholed in this way where I felt like I wasn't getting offers for work for things that I wanted to do, Johansson said. I remember thinking to myself, I think people think I'm 40 years old. I somehow stopped being something that was desirable and something that I was fighting against. That's strange. How old is she? Scarlett Johansson, age.
Scarlett Johansson.
She is 40. But did I read that wrong? I think Maybe she said that when she was younger. I don't know. Listen, here's my thing. That's the end of it. Oh, okay. I thought I had more to it. Look. Scarlett, look, I saw the movie where she showed full frontal nudity. I saw that. I can't even talk. See? Messed me up. I had flashbacks. Messed me up for a second. Okay? Booty, coochie, boobies, everything. I seen it. I swear to God. Okay? She chose to take that role. You didn't have to take the role. It is what it is. I still love her as Black Widow, but here's my thing. You take certain roles, you own it. If you have an explanation for it, you have an explanation for it. But own it. You did it. It is what it is. Okay? Just know that if I start auditioning for movies again, and y'all see me in movies again, you will not see me slanging dangling. Okay? You ain't gonna see my booty. Okay? It ain't gonna happen. Why? Because I could do something else. I don't need it. And that's the thing. I think some actors and actresses believe they need to take a certain part. And that's the reason why I told you I'm glad I never got caught up and got a huge break in Hollywood. I was offered some stuff, but nothing huge. Y'all remember, I wanted to be part of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DCU or some big, action franchise or do some comedies. That's all I wanted all the cool stuff. But they all went woke. Imagine if I was on the contract and had to do this stuff. Or they could sue me, or they could do this. And, these people, they start doing well, and they got families, and they got mansions and compounds and cars, and they got all this stuff to pay for. And they feel forced now to do things that they never would have did. 10 million subscribers. Woo!